Hot pots are a very popular kind of restaurant, and it's easy to understand why. There are a few things harder than deciding as a group on where to eat. One person wants grilled meat, another wants soupy stuff, and you can't figure out what the heck you want to eat. Abracadabra, everyone goes to a hot pot restaurant and they have all of the above. It's a quick and easy decision. But as convenient as it is, I'm also saying that hot pot restaurants make no sense at all. In fact, I would go as far to say that hot pot restaurants should not even be called restaurants at all. Let me explain. Every hot pot restaurant follows the same principle. You go to the restaurant, order whatever you want, cook it, eat it, pay the bill, and go home. There's one step in there that's not in most restaurants, and that's step number 3, cooking it. If you had to cook your food before eating it, then that's just the same thing as cooking at home, except you have to go outside and it's more expensive. At that point, it's not a restaurant, that's just paying to cook at some other dude's house. To further prove my point, let's compare it to the step-by-step manual of eating at home. If you take a good look at the two manuals, you will find that it is literally the same thing. You go out, pick what you want, cook what you get, eat it, pay for the meal, and go home. Different sequence, but the same in essence. Now imagine if we rearrange the sequence of the cooking at home manual to match the hot pot one. You drive to the supermarket, pick ingredients off the shelves, cook it in the middle of the supermarket, pay for the stuff you used, and then drive home. That is exactly what people do when they go to a hot pot place. So if you think cooking at a supermarket is a very silly thing to do, then hot pot places are just as inane. And again, it is way more expensive. So you cannot tell me that the idea of a hot pot place is not at least fundamentally ridiculous. However, I admit there are some advantages to eating at a hot pot place versus cooking at home. There's no cleanup required, people are on standby to help, unlimited amounts of shiny clean utensils are available, and the ingredients like soup stock or sliced vegetables are also prepared for you. It's like cooking on easy mode. But even with all those factors considered, it's still a hard sell. Cleaning up can be avoided by using disposable utensils, and there are pre-prepped ingredients available for sale. Sure, it takes more personal effort to do these things at home, so you could argue that people pay in exchange for less effort. But if less effort is the main reason for going to a hot pot, then why not just go to a normal restaurant where they cook and serve everything for you anyways? So far we've only talked about why going to a hot pot place is the worst out of every other option. But no matter how silly it still is a restaurant, right? Let's go check the definition of the word restaurant. When you search it up on Google, this is what you get. Reading this, I can already hear someone in the comments going, actually, it says cooked and served on the premises, not that they have to cook it for you. So hot pot places are technically restaurants. That's a fair point, but according to online etymology, the original definition of restaurant is an eating house or establishment where meals may be bought and eaten. Furthermore, the first man who thought of this restaurant establishment was a Frenchman named Boulanger, who served soups in exchange for money. It is clear that the social implication of the word restaurant is the simple exchange of money for food, and instinctively, this is how we understand it too. Anytime you go to a place with restaurant tacked onto the end of it, it means that this is a place that will cook food in exchange for money. That is the classic definition of a restaurant. Therefore, it is fair to say that establishments that require the customer to cook for themselves should not be considered restaurants in the classical sense. At this point, you might be asking, if we're talking about cooking at a restaurant, then hot pot places aren't the only kind of restaurants that make the customers cook their own food. And you would be correct. Barbecues, yakiniku places, Korean grilling places, and whatever other kind of store that makes you cook your own food are all technically not restaurants. But I had to make the title catchy somehow, so I opened the essay with hot pots. It would also be really difficult for me to talk about each kind of place at the same time, so for simplicity, I use hot pot places as the representative of self-cooking establishments. And there you have it, the absurdity of hot pot places and why they shouldn't be called restaurants. But that's just my 2 cents. What do you think? Is there a good reason to go to a self-cooking restaurant like hot pots and barbecues? Do you think it's appropriate to even call such places restaurants? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Rock Tofu, signing out.